Welcome back to the channel, and before I start, let's just check outside because I want to show you everybody this. Check it out. There is no snow left in Sweden, so summer definitely on its way. And today I thought I was going to check out my old runaround, which is my faithful E90 Bmw. Yeah, I showed it a little bit of love over the winter period, where I got the whole complete suspension built out on the car, where I changed all the struts, I changed all the control arms and everything. So underneath there it's pretty nice. So as doing that, I thought maybe I should show a little bit more love to other parts of the car. So it's got a few problems, should I say. So if we get inside, the first problem was with this audio setup I installed in the car. Now, the reason why I did this initially was just to bring the car into the 2000s, because obviously when this car came out in 2006, there was no Bluetooth or any kind of way of playing SD cards or USB sticks or any kind of connectivity. So I put this unit in. I did this before I started my channel, unfortunately. So yeah, I didn't record that at the time. But what it allowed me to do was get a reverse camera. So that, you know, obviously start the car. You've got to wait for that thing to boot up. It does take about 30 seconds to boot up. Yeah, when I put the car in reverse, you get a little readout, and you get a vision, you know, you get a view of the back. But as you can see, it says no video signal. Now that's because I've got a problem with that camera. Yeah, there's a fault with it. So let's turn that off before any copyrighted music starts playing. Right, so it's got a problem with it at the back. So I thought today what I would do is I bought a new camera for the back camera, and I can show you how I install that anyway, because I have to install a new one. So let's get to that then, shall we? Okay, so if we look at the back of the car, you can see that I've actually installed the camera in the sort of like hand opener here. You can see the camera's there, and if you can also see, it's all loose and it's all sort of come apart. So obviously we've got some kind of water that's got in there, and that's possibly the reason why the camera doesn't work anymore. So to get to that and to show you all the wiring that I did about 3-4 years back on this car, we have to take this off. So what you're going to need is some kind of pry tool like what I've got here, and just get these poppers off. So I'll take care of that, and then I'll show you what it looks like underneath there. This is what them poppers look like when you take them out of the hole there, yeah? See, this would normally sit in there like that. What you need to do is, when you get them out, you need to get the pry tool in between the... It's hard for me to show you that. If you look at this one here, you need to get the pry tool in between those two there, and then pop it up. That's what you need to do, and then you can just pull it out after that. So once you've taken them all out, then this should just drop down like that. You can put that to one side, and you're left with this. Now, what you will see under your car, if you're doing this for the first time, is nothing like this. This is the result of what I previously did. And if you can see here, what I've done is add a relay, which sort of works as a switch. See, what it does is the camera runs from 12 volts, and the car doesn't give off 12 volts when you first start it, because it runs a check. All BMWs do this, it runs a check, so it only gives around 10.4 volts or something like that. Now, because it's only 10.4 volts, it won't operate the camera, because the camera's looking for 12. So, in order to get around that, you will need to connect up a relay. Now, the camera that I have bought, the replacement, is a bit different to this one. As you can see, this is the cable that runs to the unit. So this cable runs all the way to the unit. This cable here, I'm not sure now. It looks like it's, I think it's some kind of ground cable, but yeah, we're gonna have to work that one out a bit later and see what happens with that one. Yeah, I'm gonna try and figure it all out. But anyway, what I'm gonna do is trace that back, get this out, which I should try and do now actually. So now when you take out the old boot release handle, you'll see a cable like this. Now this is what you'll see from manufacturer. This was the old one that I've just taken out. You can see there, it has a little plug there, and that's the plug that goes into the cable, you can see there, and that will give you the operation of opening and closing your boot. Now, the other cable you can see, and now by looking at this is what I should have bought with just a simple video line and a RCA line, but I didn't. I thought I did, but I didn't, because if you look at the new one, you can see, yeah, it's got that cable to operate the latch. There's a camera, but it comes with this sort of power supply here. Now, connected to that power supply will be, let's see it, this cable here. And if you look on, see this one, what will happen is that cable there will connect to there, and then it gives you that. Now, here's where the problem is. Right, if we look at the old connections that are hanging down here now, you have that and you have that. Now, obviously that's a male connection, and so is this, so I can't connect them both together directly like that. So I'm gonna have to go and buy some kind of female to female so that I can connect those two, if you can focus, those two together. And then I don't have to drag this cable all the way to the unit, the head unit again. Yeah, I mean, I might have to end up doing that, which is a pain considering all I needed to do was buy this that looked identical to this, and the job would have been near enough done now. All right, so we're gonna try it anyway, see if it works. If it doesn't, then I'm just gonna have to buy another one of these. Right, so I'm on my way down the shop now to get that little connector. I'll be right back. Okay, so now I'm back with the adapter, as you can see there. So I'm going to throw that on the end of there, right, and then connect those two up together. Right, so now I've made that connection. That's what it looks like. So now we've got to work out how we're going to get some power. So we've got these two cables here coming from that unit there. Now the old way I did it was, if you look, it's like this. So that's the power going directly to the battery, and I think that's the one that was going to the switch, right, or vice versa. Anyway, so what I did was that was connected up to this plug here, and that went straight into the old plug. So what I did was I cut that old plug off of the old unit, and what I thought I'd do is strip the cables. I don't know if you can see in there, if you can focus. I'll try and focus on her. Anyway, if you look in that cable, you can see that there's a red and black wire. So I'm going to strip that back and then connect it directly to the new cables here, and then just plug it straight back in the old unit and see if that works. Right, so I'm going to get that done now, and I'll be back. Okay, so now, it's a bit shady here. So now you can see we've got everything connected up now. That's connected there. We're using a female to female to connect that cable there, and this is my sort of construction here of connecting the power up. There's the relay. Right, so I'm going to close this down to catch any of the wires there. And we already know that the handle works, so that's one of the things that's already been done. So we get in the car. There you go. Right, so now we're in the car. Start the car now. If we put it in reverse, hopefully we see a picture on the back there. Hopefully. And we see nothing. No signal. So whatever we tried to do didn't work. So yeah, that's no joy there. So we'll have to have a look and see what we did wrong and try and rectify that. So welcome back to another glorious day here in Sweden with my E90. Right, let's just turn that camera. Right, so let's recap from where we left off yesterday. So yesterday's video, we had just checked out the new camera. It wasn't working, we weren't getting any signal. So yeah, so I had to do some investigating. Now, for the people that know me, they'll understand that I couldn't have my car sort of opened up all night last night because I had a gig, and if you know me, you know I'm a DJ. So I had to get the car back into sort of running condition so that I could go and do the gig. So it's the next morning now, and I can just recap of what I did last night. So the last video, you'd have seen me checking it not working, but before that I had soldered the cables together with my little contraption at the back there. I'll put some photos in so you can see what I soldered. Actually, I was trying to record me soldering, but for some reason it didn't come out. After that, I connected everything up. It wasn't working, so I did some more investigating after that, where I run a voltmeter on my connection, and I saw that I was getting 12 volts to the camera, so I knew the problem wasn't in the actual connection when it came to the power. So then I run a test on the video cable, and that's where I was getting my issues. So it was just a cabling issue where I couldn't run video. Now, it was two possible causes. It could have been that I connected two 6-meter cables together and 12 meters was just too long to throw the video. But then after a bit more investigating, I saw there was a little bit of damage to the original cable, AV cable that I was running from the head unit all the way to the camera. So I did a check with just using the cable that came with the new camera, and it seemed to work. So yeah, so now I'm left with the dilemma of running a new AV cable all the way from the back of the car to the head unit again, which I didn't want to do, but I'm forced to do it because I could try another way, cutting the cable to make it shorter, but then that might not solve the problem, and then I'm left with a cable that's cut. So I decided to run the cable. So what I did was, if you look at the back, I buttoned everything back up because I had to get something in the boot yesterday. I didn't want the wires getting in the way. And if you see here, I've run the cable already from here all the way through here, and it's here. And what I did was I connected it to the old cable. So you can see this is the new cable. I've connected them up together here, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to try and pull this cable all the way through where the old cable is going, because if you see here, you'll see that that's where the cable's going, underneath the seat back there somewhere. So I'm going to get in the car and I'm going to start pulling this cable through and seeing if I can pull it all the way from the head unit. And yeah, let's see if that works. So yeah, now I've tidied up the back a little bit more, just taking everything out. I've also got a sub that I put in the car some years ago as well. That's another thing I could connect up to the new unit. So yeah, that's the cabling for that there. It's all loose because it's just like this quick connector there, so that I can take it in and out, because obviously I didn't want to have a big sub in the way if I needed to load a load of stuff in the car. So the next bit is to run this wire back, and I can see, if you look in the back here, I've lifted up the back seat. It's just like some poppers there, you just pull it out, and then there's a little side unit here that goes there, piece, and that sort of slots into these clips there, and then it's got another little clip that clips on there as well. So that's pretty simple. And you can see some of the cabling I did for the sub, and this will be the cable we're chasing back for the camera. Some other cabling there, some speaker cabling that I did there as well. So the next step is to chase it back here and pull it through so that we can continue going that way. So okay, so at this stage I've managed to pull the cable through the back seat there. So now I have all the cable here, and this is the end that I'm going to start pulling. Now, depending on how loose this is, I'm going to try and actually get the wire from behind the head unit and see if I can just pull it all the way through. Now it's going to get a bit thick here, so that might be a problem there. So, and then in that case, I'll just have to take off a few bits and pieces there. I'll probably take, actually I'll take this bit off here because this is pretty loose anyway. So we just pop that off, and then we can kind of see where that cable's going. There it is. So it's going over there, so that'll just loosen it up a little bit. And then we'll just keep pulling, and then hopefully I don't have to take anything off under there, and we'll just keep pulling to see if we can pull it all the way. Right, let's do that then. Now I have removed the head unit, as you can see, and I've taken off this panel here, which goes in there like that. You just use the pry tool to pry it away. You can see the other cables that I've had running through here, and I've managed to pull the cable all the way through to the unit. So I'm gonna try and button everything back up again, and then plug it in, put everything back, and then we should have a reverse camera again. All right, so I'll get that done, and then we'll give it the last test. All right. So right, of course, before we button everything back up, we test this out. So now I've connected the new line to the unit. Before I put it back in, we'll start the car, foot on the brake, and then let's move it into reverse. And there we have a camera working. And there's my Z4. So success. So in conclusion, this is what the camera looks like. It kind of sticks down a bit nicely. Yeah. All right. I'll open up the car with the key. You can hear the mechanism working. Now everything is buttoned up back there. There are no exposed cables anywhere. Everything's tucked away. And if we get inside the car, put the key in, start the car up. There's the unit, and if I put it into reverse, you can clearly see the camera's working, and the sensor as well. Put it back into park, and everything is good. And as you can see, everything is back where it should be. Car's looking nice and neat, and everything is good to go. So once again, I want to say a big thank you for everybody. If you're still here, I know it's been a long video, but if you're still here, thanks for checking out the show. We got some really great footage on our next shows coming up from Scandinavia's biggest custom car show. COVID has shut it down for the last 2 years, and we have just seen some amazing custom cars. So don't forget to tune in to the next show, the next 2 shows actually. I've got so much footage, it might even run into 3 shows. So thanks for checking out the show. See you all again soon. Take care of yourself. Don't forget to like and subscribe and all that good stuff. Bye bye.